stick around and watch the video as I take you through a step-by-step tutorial on how to set up your external filter for your aquascape or planted aquarium. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to another episode of Natquascape. Hit the subscribe button over in the corner and the notification bell so you don't miss out on content to do with unboxings and reviews of products related to planted aquariums and aquascaping. Also expect to see step-by-step tutorials on how to create different type of compositions in an aquascape and planted aquariums, and step-by-step tutorials on how to set up low, medium and high-tech planted aquascapes. So in last week's video you saw me flood the ADA 60p. Well, I'm actually doing this video immediately after flooding because I've got to set up the external filter, I've got to set up the CO2, and I've got to get everything rocking and rolling. So what do you need to set up an external filter? Well, first of all, you need a filter. I'm going to be using the Oase Biomaster 250 for this ADA 60p scape behind me. If you want to see me do a detailed unboxing of this filter, then check out this video. You're going to need inlet and outlet pipes. This filter comes with inlet and outlet pipes that you can use right from the box, and they are really good and really easy to set up. However, I'm doing an ADA 60p aquascape, so I'm going to go for lily pipes. Here are the lily pipes that I am using for this aquascape. They are made by a company called Ikson, and I picked them up from my local aquascaping store, which is Horizon Aquatics UK. So be sure to check out their website, which I will leave in the description of this video. You can get different sizes of glass inlet and outlet pipes depending on the size of your hose. Because this filter came with 16-22mm hosing, I went for the 16mm pipes, and that's 16mm outer diameter. Make sure when you get lily pipes you've got two nooks for two suction cups. If you've only got one and then you put your hosing on, it's going to move around and you're never going to be able to set it properly. In terms of media, I use mechanical, chemical and biological filtration. So for mechanical filtration, it is just the sponge that is supplied with this filter. Most filters have the sponge media supplied, and also some biomedia supplied as well. For chemical filtration, I'm going to use activated carbon. This activated carbon I've never used before. I've purchased it from All Pond Solutions, and it comes in a black bag like that, so you can literally rinse the bag out, place it into your filter, bob your uncle. Another product that I swear by, and it does work and it does make a massive difference to the chemistry of the aquarium, especially the water clarity, is this product here, which is Seachem Purigen. If you're going to use Seachem Purigen, then you need some bags to put this in. Now, Seachem do sell their own bags to put this in. You can also get Seachem Purigen already in these little pouches that you can just pop into your filter. But because I'm going to be using quite a lot, because this filter is bigger, has a larger surface area, I went for a bottle of Seachem Purigen, and from Amazon I bought some bags really cheap. I think you get like 30 in a pack. Basically put the Purigen in, rinse it out obviously, tie it up, pop it in your filter, and you're good to go. So Seachem Purigen is another piece of chemical filtration that I use in my external filter. The other thing you're going to need is biomedia, and I often use the ceramic biomedia that you can get from different places. Most often filters are supplied with the media. If you have filters around the house which have mature biomedia, I would suggest just taking a little handful and popping that into this as well. Just give it a rinse with tank water and then you can pop it in. The reason I won't be doing that today is because I know in that tank with that filter there's snails. And I want to try and minimize contamination of snails in this newly planted setup. So I'm just going to go right from new, right from scratch and cycle the tank all the way. So let's open up this filter, see what media we already got. In the top basket I have sponge, which is fine. Let's just get everything out, shall we? So I've got sponge, 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 and empty. So the first thing I'm going to have in the top is sponge. The most important thing is biomedia. You want lots of biomedia. Biomedia is probably more important than chemical filtration actually. So I think what I'll do is I'll keep the red sponge. This red sponge that comes with the filter is more fine than the blue stuff. So I'm going to set up 2 chambers of biomedia at the bottom, then chemical filtration, which will be carbon. On top of the carbon pads I will have some Seachem Purigen, and then at the top I will have this, which is mechanical filtration. So the first thing you need to do is rinse out your biological media, rinse out your carbon, and also get your Purigen in a bag. Fasten the bag up securely so that the Purigen doesn't leak, and give your Purigen a rinse under the tap. So I'm going to go ahead and do that and then I'll come back. Okay, so just quickly, I've got these bags from Amazon. They have a certain mesh on them. To add my Purigen, basically all I did is, for me, I did the entire contents of the bottle. I just opened up the bag, pour the entire contents in, rinse the bottle and just pour that in as well, and then close the bag like so. Just give it a nice tug, just make sure we don't break the string, and you just want to give that a little fold before placing that in the filter. Then you can just rinse all of this under the tap. In these I have my biological media, so that one is full of these small kind of like ceramic rings. Okay, I just have some lying around from other kind of filter setups. There's only one way in which these can go in, so if you get it wrong you can always turn it around. Useful handles. I'll then remove the sponge from here, which I don't need, and I can add my chemical filtration. So for chemical filtration, the first thing I'm going to do is add my Seachem Prime at the bottom layer, and what I'll do, I'll just fold this up and over and lay the carbon on top. Although the bag's closed, we just want to be extra sure. There's the Seachem Prime, and then my carbon on top. Now it's a bit of a tight squeeze, so you might need to just play around with that. Once you play around with it, you'll know how much to put in. You might need to take some carbon out, some prime out, or some Purigen out. That's fine. And that sits perfectly up like that. So now that's my mechanical filtration. Next will be my chemical filtration. Last but not least, mechanical filtration. Right at the top. Finally, we'll put that on, get the lid and everything on, and then we are ready to set it up in the tank. So that goes only in one way. one hole for the heater, one hole for the pre-filter, and this comes with the pre-filter as well, so there's extra mechanical filtration anyway. With everything inside here, you're now ready to plumb in your lily pipes. So different filters have different ways in which to fit your pipes, but a most common fitting is where you put your hose onto the intake and the outtake. So here I'm putting it on the intake. So I am just going to use the hose that came with the filter. The reason why is because I've tried some clear hosing that I have, and when you try and thread that screw to grasp the hose, it's not as tight. So I'm just going to stick to the recommended hosing. Even though it's not clear, it's fine. It's on the outside of the tank, so it's okay. So it goes on really quite tight. So give it a twist. Never push, just twist it on. You could risk snapping the plastic, but I don't think you would in this case because it's really strong. And thread the screw upwards, so it's going to grasp the hose. And now I can't get my hose out. Cut your hose to the appropriate length. I've got tubing everywhere. Obviously a nice generous supply of tubing from Oase, so that's really good. And because I'm on the inlet, I can then take my inlet pipe. Pro tip, always warm the tube with hot water before placing it on a glass inlet. Another pro tip, never put the tube on like that. You put pressure on that bend, glass will break. When you're dealing with glass, and I know this because I teach kids how to put glass pipettes on pipette fillers all the time, you want to hold it close to the end and just tease it on, and then just with a bend action push the tube on. And you only need it to go 1.5 centimeters, just an inch, and that is it. That is on. That will be placed in the aquarium. So another tip is plumb the tubing into the filter first. Cut to the appropriate length so you've got enough length to lift the pipe out of the aquarium. Then last, fit the pipe onto the inlet and the outlet. That way the tubing will just slip on the pipe and won't cause this to be under any strain or any movement. You can put the suction cups on, they will stay in place, there'll be no strain by plumbing the tube in here first and then into here. So I'll go ahead and place this in the cabinet, cut the tubing, put it onto the lily pipes, and then this particular filter has a prime button. So you can push that button at the top and it's going to start pulling in water into the aquarium, kind of creating a suction just as you would do with a water change. That will be full and then it'll be ready to switch on. So when I'm putting my filter in, I put it in this way. Two reasons. One, my hosing can go out the hole that's here, and let me just show you what I mean. So two reasons why I have my filter not that way but that way is because so my inlet and outlet pipes are going out, facing towards the hole where they're going out, and I get quick access to my pre-filter, so I don't have to move the filter out too much. I can just give it maybe a little tilt, unlock it, move the pre-filter out into a bucket, put the pre-filter in, and job's a good one. So just twist that on, and then up and down, get it on. Don't put too much force on it. Okay, and then I can go ahead and just see what length of tubing I need and cut that to length. So in order to cut the tube, what I normally do is just kink where you want to cut the tube, get some decent scissors, or what I've got, some garden shears, and then go ahead and cut the tube to length.